NVIS antenna for that. NVIS stands for Near Vertical Incidence.
And
I can't
I'm
remember
just
the
kind of
S.
fond of this one, which is why I got it. And so obviously is Sean as far as that goes.
It's a very good, simple radio. They're still making them. They are considered an entry-level radio. He bought this for $4. You can buy them new for about $600.
Yeah.
Okay.
And $4 is a really good deal for it. They're very simple to use. You really don't need a manual if you're kind of familiar. You know, if you're at the point to where he is with his license, you've been around radios enough to where you could turn it on and kind of figure it out.
And basically, you just punch in the frequency that you want.
Okay.
And it comes up. So all you have to know is what frequency you want to be on. And for that, we will hopefully get that set up with MT3 as a communication frequency from them to us.
We would probably should use something 75, 80 meters being that close.
Well, that's fine. I just
Yeah.
I'd like to see us with something, and I'd kind of like to see us with something on 40 and something on 80.
40.
Because just in case 80 isn't cooperating, we've got something that we can fall back
40. You know what might be good too is actually 10, because 10 is good for short hops too. Even though it's not always that 6 is the magic band.
And
I'm
it
sorry,
will do all
but
of
10.
that. So it will do 10 to 160. I think. Does it do 160 or does it just do 80?
This will do 6. No. This one will do 10 to 160.
I'm sorry, I'm saying 180 and I meant 160.
Yeah, it doesn't do 6, and it doesn't. This one doesn't have 60 in it, but this one can be modded to work on 60. By the way, when we're throwing these numbers around, what it is we have a band plan, and when we say 10 meters, 60 meter, 80 meter, that is actually how long the wavelength is. It's 80 meters long, a single, but the actual frequencies are different. For example, when we talk about 80 meter, well, that would be good because then you have to explain the difference between 75 and 80 meter. So we say 40 meter. For us, in our license class, that means we can operate on a frequency of 7.175 to 7.300 megahertz. Actually, no, we need to be three behind the band limit.
That's great. But that's really neither here nor there for what you what you need to know.
Okay.
I mean, it's good knowledge.
Well, the tech they won't need to know the tech. At least when I took it, they were asking for specific frequencies.
They do, but they only hit 2, I think.
It's like 20, which...
And I don't remember what they are.
Now, 20 meter...
And I haven't seen the new question pool for tech.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't.
20 meter, you'll hear a lot of people talk about that. They call that the magic band of DX. What it is it is a good band because it works well during the day and during the night, because you'll learn that the propagation changes at night. It becomes much better at night because there's 2 layers of the ionosphere that merge.
The reason for that is the HF frequencies will bounce off of the ionosphere.
Well, let's put it this way.
Okay.
You know CB? CB, well, that came from amateur radio.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, they took those from amateur radio and they opened them up. That's actually 27 megahertz.
Okay.
And that they use AM most of the time.
Which is close to the 6 meters that he was talking about.
Yeah, 28, yeah.
All right.
That's what they did, is they cut a chunk out of ham and said, okay, now this is going to be called Citizens Band. And anybody can
actually,
get
they
it
probably
without.
just took a nice thick slice and set it on the plate, and here you go. And,
so, this is for distance work.
Okay.
Much more than these are.
That's what we use to get a hold of us locally, and
and then this is what we use to try and get in touch with MT3 or
probably not Russia.
California 3%. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, you reached California on yours.
yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah,
he was standing there when I was talking
It wasn't
to California.
the California part that I was talking about. It was the 3% that I was.
Well, now here's the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to
The reason why I was talking about 80 meter, is it's such a long bandwidth. It takes a long time for it to start to bounce up, and it will cover locally several hundred miles before the signal starts to propagate. If you use something like 20, it's a very short one, a lot shorter than that, and it immediately will go up. And what happens is you will be easier talking to somebody in California than you will in Knoxville.
Okay.
And the longer the wavelength, the more ground it'll cover. It's called a ground wave. Well, what is it? What's that new frequency they got? Was it 422 kilohertz? You know, that new experiment, the new one they just gave us. We have 2 new bands.
That's cool.
But these.
But I misspoke when I said this is for long distance. This would also work across camp.
Okay.
I mean, you know, that kind of thing would work.
You could,
or work 10 miles down the road.
Yeah.
But then when you get into that area beyond what you could possibly reach with this, that's when the ACAM
You know what?
shines.
To be honest with you, a lot of this will make more sense once you start studying for your licenses. You get the book or go online. There's a lot of good stuff on there. It will make more sense because these can explain in a lot more depth than he and I can. And sometimes this is one of the basic knowledge points in amateur radio, period. By the way, the only reason we're called amateurs is because by law we are not allowed to accept payment for our services. That is the only reason. And we are the amateur radio service. We were chartered by the government to not only have fun, but we advance science. We are also emergency communications. I am trained. I'm a trained emergency communicator. My other vehicle, I have emergency plates on it.
Okay.
The state of Tennessee considers an amateur radio operator a first responder. We also have a pool of knowledge that can be tapped into in case of an emergency.
Right.
One of the guys, his name is Joe Taylor. He's K1JT. He holds 40 patents, and he's a Nobel Prize winner in physics.
Wow.
He just came up with a new mode, FT8. And I mean, we have all sorts of people that are ham radio operators.
Can you hold
what?
Those 2 radios first?
Walter Cronkite, he was a ham radio operator.
Okay.
Patty Loveless. You know who Joe Walsh is, right?
Sounds familiar, but
he is one of the singers and the lead guitarist of the Eagles.
Okay.
He's an amateur radio operator, and he has donated millions and millions of dollars for public service for that. The man who invented television, he was an amateur radio operator. Did you know that we actually have television on amateur radio? We have slow scan and we have fast scan, and it's just like sitting here talking to you. We do TV over the air. I'm going to show Scott, we have digital modes where we use the computer to talk over the air.
Okay.
We have Morse code, which is considered a digital mode. It's actually considered a fuzzy mode, but more about that later. Some of the stuff is kind of, when you're first getting into it, it's like, we have something called APR or ARPS, Amateur Radio Packet System. And what it does is it uses data and it transmits over the air. My friend, he lives in London, and what I can do is I can go onto a website and it tracks him live as he's driving to work and back, and it says the speed he's going, the weather and everything, and it's transmitted over the air. And what happens is one of the main repeaters in London has APRs built into it, and it transmits it live over the internet to a website, and you contact a website. And this was all done for fun.
Yeah.
Which
goes to show that you can get as deep as you want to get, or
you could just
you can get 2 meter, 440. You can stop at technician.
But
or you can get your general and know that you can use an HF.
Or you can go get your extra class license and just rule the world, which I'm working on. Have you seen that test lately?
Yeah.
God. See what happens? They got rid of the Morse code requirement. Now it's 50 questions of nothing but advanced radio and electronic theory.
Yeah, and this is for 35 years. I've done either two-way radio
That one you just memorize. You don't screw with it.
Broadcast radio or broadcast television for 35 years.
And still difficult.
Yes.
Wow.
But the main thing I want to push, and like he said, tech is good. General is where you're going to really start enjoying amateur radio. Now, what's cool is, one of these nights, I have to bring my little handheld Yagi antenna, and we'll work a satellite. What you do is you wait, and you talk for about 3 minutes. You wait 10 minutes, and then you keep talking to the other person. Wait 3 minutes, wait 10 minutes, and talk because you're bouncing off a satellite. Yeah. Next time there's a meteor shower, I will bring out my computer, and I will work people from all over the world bounce my signal off the meteors.
Oh, very cool.
Wow. You can
and
talk
I
to
use
the
this.
ISS.
Yeah, the
Nice.
International Space Station.
Kind of cool.
With this. Wow. You don't need anything fancy. You just need this programmed correctly, and it'll do it. Believe it or not, only 5 watts you can hit the space station, 23,000 miles in space.
Wow.
That's the thing. You got to think when
it's still line of sight. I mean, it's
literally. But the antenna is different. It's what's called a Yagi, and it's a special type of a handheld antenna. And the one I made is out of tape measure.
Television antenna. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like an old television antenna. But I made mine out of I bought a $1 tape measure, and I cut it up to make this antenna. Excuse me, that's me to remember my blood sugar. And and there's and, I do a lot of the computer stuff. Like I said, digital modes. And what I'll do is I'll set up my laptop once I'm waiting for a cable to come in to connect this device that I use to interface between the radio and my computer. Once I get it set up, I will come here and I'll show everybody live. I'll get on there and we could set it up. In fact, what he could do is, he wanted to, he could set his radio. We could have it under the table right down here. We just turn it on real low power, and we